everybody, welcome back to Campfire Society podcast. Here with another video, another episode. Today we're
Take
talking.
two.
Yes, take two because we had to do it the second time because I love OBS. Um, Let me introduce you to one of your. I am one of your hosts, BayoCakes98, and your other hosts.
2 through a 9 am I.
And Sarcastic Blow King.
And we're doing this on my laptop that I just bought. And the screen isn't showing, so I'm gonna have to manually put in the actual slides manually. So that's gonna be fun.
Slight adjustment.
So today we're actually gonna have a visual representation of what we're talking about instead of just us sitting on a couch. What an amazing shock!
Unbelievable. I mean, plot twist, only 4 episodes in.
I know, right? It's crazy. We are advancing.
Never know what to expect at the old Campfire Society.
Yeah,
What will
exactly.
they think of next?
Today's episode, as you can see on your screen right now, hopefully, it's a tutorial. Campfire Society's TPI tutorial. What do we mean by this? What is that supposed to mean? A tutorial making TPIs? What the fuck? Did Nikki not do this? Our Lord and Savior Nicky Nor2 did this many years
Nicholas
ago.
Nordstrom II.
Exactly. See?
Refer to him by his true name.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We are not worthy of speaking his nickname. So why are we doing this? Well, the main thing is all of us have different perspectives and like different ideas of what makes a show good and what makes a show bad. And we're experienced veterans in the field. I have 3 seasons, or well, 2.5 or 1 full season under my belt, and then like a half season, and then like the one I'm working on now. Which, until I get settled with what I'm doing right now, I'm currently in the process of moving. Then I'll start working on it.
Yeah, that's another thing. We've all been kind of busy lately, which is kind of why content's been sort of at a standstill, I guess you could say. Because Bayo's been moving, I was on vacation, and Matt was dealing with the last couple weeks at college.
Oh boy.
That's always stressful. But yeah, we're now back, and we are back for pretty much the whole summer, so that's lovely.
Boys are back in town.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, let's get started with this tutorial. Okay, so the first question is, what do I need? How do I make a TPI? What do I need to do to get started? I think this is pretty simple. These are all going to be simple, self-explanatory, but some people just don't know.
I mean, you'd be surprised of what some people just don't know.
I mean, who knows? I'm not going to assume anything of anyone.
Wait, you need Pokemon in a total Pokemon Island? I had no idea.
I mean, in theory, you don't.
Technically, no, you don't. Not really.
But we'll get to that later on.
Oh yeah, but this is just the basic, simple TPI, like a basic show. This is just what the basics of what you need. Well, first of all, a YouTube channel. I think this one should be self-explanatory.
Like, if you want to make content on YouTube, you gotta have a channel.
I mean,
If you don't have that, who's going to watch
Wander
it?
onto YouTube and just post it under an anonymous name. I mean, I guess you
technically could.
could put it under an anonymous name, but you need something to actually put your creations onto.
Exactly, because no one's gonna be able to see if you don't have a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
That way, when you get rich and famous from the TPI community, we'll all know who you are.
Absolutely. Another thing that I would recommend, and I would almost require, I basically require this. I would request, or I require, or well, I would say to use PowerPoint and Keynote, whichever one you have.
Both very
Very good
nice options for your show.
And if you absolutely have to, like, this is last resort. Like, this is, I can't afford this. You know, I could barely afford my computer, let alone, or in a case like that. I'm not going to assume, like I said, not going to assume anything of anyone. Most people, they have PowerPoint already on their computer. A lot of computers come prepackaged with Office. If not, Office is pretty widely available, especially if you're in college. It's really easy to get access to, but Google Slides is available to everyone for free. In fact, that's what we're using to make this video, Google Slides.
And while Google Slides is nice and it gets the job done for something like this,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I guess you could use it for a TPI, but I recommend not
Oh yeah.
because on it doesn't Google Slides doesn't really have the same amount of transitions or animations
It's
as PowerPoint or Keynote might have, and it's gonna make your
this is
restricted.
this is probably this Google Drive or Google Slides is about as primitive as 1995 PowerPoint. That's the best way I can compare it. It's
You really
I
like
just
use
you won't
1995
get
PowerPoint, but it does not sound fun.
yeah. You
yeah.
really just won't get the same, I guess I'd say, creative opportunity as everyone else does.
Yes. I mean, if you don't need it, if you're not gonna plan on doing that, all those fancy animations, slides, then by all means use Google Slides. But I honestly, you need it. You need it. You need PowerPoint, or PowerPoint is just far superior. It gets the job done much better. It's just a better program in my opinion. Google Slides is just a last resort if you absolutely have to.
Right.
Next thing, anyone else have anything to talk about PowerPoint?
No, I think we covered everything. PowerPoint, it's just. I mean, PowerPoint's what I use over Keynote, but
Yeah, I think I'd just say like PowerPoint and Keynote, they're basically the same thing. It's just Keynote is like the Mac equivalent.
Yeah.
PowerPoint's already going to be on your when you get it. I've been using Keynote the entire time I've been doing it. It works a-okay for me. So
I mean, if it works, it works.
what do you use, Bale? PowerPoint or
PowerPoint.
Keynote?
PowerPoint. I don't have a Mac.
All right, so we got 2 PowerPoints, 1 Keynote.
Fuck
All
Mac.
right.
Okay. But yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. One thing I will not recommend is try not to get it by a very shady means. Do not try to crack it. Do not try to torrent it. Don't try to do any of that stuff unless you are comfortable with the potential consequences. We are not condoning that you pirate PowerPoint or Keynote.
Right.
oh yeah, don't do
absolutely
that.
not.
Do not pirate unless you're good like me. But that's aside from the point. I didn't actually pirate it. My school provides it for me, so I'm fine with that.
Oh.
Next thing, sprites. This should be easy enough to wrap your head around. You need sprites. You need pictures of the Pokemon. Don't use anything other than PNG files because they are not transparent.
Right.
Because no one wants to look at someone's PowerPoint that they didn't even bother cropping the freaking white background or whatever background behind the
What
Pokemon.
I will say about that is that if you're using Keynote, like me, and you're not using PNG files, there is like a tool that you can use on Keynote where you kind of get rid of the white background.
Yeah,
It's
PowerPoint
just
has that too.
slightly more work. So if you want to do a little less work, I'd say just get the PNG file and just call it a day.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and
I've had to use that for a few things.
we'll provide links in the description where all you do is copy paste, boom, done. That is literally a monkey could do it. Like that's when it comes to sprites, easy, super easy to get. You have no. I would say there's no excuse not to have sprites. I mean, unless you have. Okay, so the one thing I will say, Gen 6 Pokemon, if you don't want the Gen 6 sprites, because I think it looks kind of weird, personally, it's a little harder to get those sprites. The Gen 6, 7 Pokemon with the Gen 5 sprite style.
Right.
That's the only thing I will say is tough to get. You might have to do a little bit of digging for that. Other than that, Gen 1 through 5 Pokemon, easy as all get out. Next, anyone else have any comments on sprites?
I think you said everything. Sprites are pretty straightforward.
Alright, next one. A device to record with. Personally, I recommend OBS. So, what do I mean by a device to record with? What does that mean? Well, this is to record your screen. This is to take video of your screen. Like, instead of just getting like a camcorder or an iPhone or whatever to record your screen, don't do that. We are not cavemen. We are not cavemen. We have technology. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So OBS is highly recommended. There are other ones out there. There's Bandicam. I used to use Bandicam back in the seasons 1 and 2. I started using OBS when the new series came along.
Talking unregistered Hypercam 2.
The
Let's not
Hypercam
speak of that.
watermark.
Goodness. Awful. It was terrible. But yes, OBS is a great program. I highly recommend it. It's free. It's free to use. You can use it for more than just recording video. You can stream. You can actually. It's what most streamers use. Is OBS.
OBS is pretty cool. I use something called Camtasia. That's what I use for both for recording the screen and for editing and recording everything.
Yeah, and that it comes that comes in with a built-in video editor. So that's always something to consider. Which we'll get into video editing later. But yeah. Another thing.
Wait, well, Matt, what do you use for recording?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then there's me. I just record the PowerPoint on the actual PowerPoint itself, and that gets my voice as well. And then pretty much I'll have it all in one file, so it's the video and the audio instead of having the whole video file and the whole audio file. I'm gonna splice those together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you do? Just throw in an iMovie and then just edit
For,
out the
for these
hiccups?
projects, I'm does it.
Okay. But yeah, I guess that's what you would do if you have a few hiccups, because we're all gonna make mistakes while we're recording. No one's gonna be perfect. You're gonna have to edit your video. So we'll get to that in a minute. Right now, we're gonna talk about microphones.
Microphone.
We all have one. If you don't, I mean, this isn't something that's super necessary. It's something.
It says optional right there.
Yeah, it does say optional, and it's more of a quality of life thing. Because you want your audience to hear you, right? Technically, you can get away with not having a microphone. It is very possible, or if you're uncomfortable with your voice, which to each their own. However, a microphone will allow your audience to hear you. So, but again, it's optional. It's not mandatory. You can get away with it. You can have text boxes in your videos, and so that we know what the characters are saying, and which character is talking at what time, and you can combine the two if you want. You can do both the microphone and the text boxes. That's up to you.
I mean, Matt does that. He does that pretty well in his show, I think.
And boy, is it a lot of work.
Well, I'm sure it is. I'm too lazy, so I don't do that. I just use my microphone. I just talk for about an hour and a half. Who would have thought?
Same deal.
So yeah, microphone is definitely optional. Definitely highly recommended, in my opinion. I don't know about these other two, but I highly recommend it.
I recommend a microphone.
All right, fair enough.
And it doesn't have to be like a super expensive like
It could be a
headset that you get when you were 9 years old, so you can talk shit to people on COD. Like I literally just use like my iPhone headphones with the built-in mic, and I think it sounds fine.
I got a little more high tech. I've got a Blue Yeti.
I don't have that, but I do have a Corsair headset. This is like gaming. I do a lot of gaming. I do a lot of, I don't really stream, but I'm planning to stream at some point. So that's why I have what I have. But again, you can get a Walmart headset for like $20. Like you get that with your parents' allowance. Like, come on. That is nothing.
And then the last thing, or are we good with microphones?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we have on the list, of course, which we kind of already talked about with device to record with, but we have video editing and recording software. Basically, just anything to just like once you've, again, like we were saying, you're not going to get everything right in one take. You're going to make blips and bumps along the way. Just something really nice and easy to get rid of to smooth out the edges and get everything sounding nice. As you can, Audacity is, I don't use Audacity, but it is highly required. It's a great software to get quality voice recordings.
Yes, Audacity is really good. I use it a lot because it, again, like you said, it has high quality. You can change the pitch without changing the speed. You can do so many things with Audacity. You can isolate. You can edit music. So like, let's say if you want to get a piece of music, but you want to kind of remove the vocals or like something like that. I did that a lot because I had a lot of Survivor music, and it's not really easy to get that without doing a lot of work on the music, because that's what I did. I would get custom, like from custom episodes. Just I pick an episode from Survivor that was similar to the vote that I did in Back to the Past. I'd take that video, I would download it, and then I would edit out the vocals. So that's also a possibility. I mean, just an example. But Audacity is really useful, really good, and just in general, just really solid program. Video editing software. In terms of video editing softwares, again, not everyone has a big bank account. Movie Maker will be just fine, honestly. It'll render it in 1080p. It'll do its job. That's all it needs to do. It'll help you trim the fat, for lack of a better term. One other thing I will recommend. I will definitely recommend. It's not on here, I know, but I use a little program called a tube catcher. It basically, what a tube catcher does is it's basically a video downloader. It downloads YouTube videos. You just throw the link in the program and it just downloads the video. Boom, done. Any format.
Actually, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, I think I forgot to talk about it, or well, forgot to list it on one of the things you need to get started. This is, again, completely optional, but if you want to get music, you want to get video, like video footage, like if you want to do like a stupid cutaway gag, I don't know. If you want to do like a cutaway gag or something, where it gets to a video, then I'll be providing all these links in the description to where you can go check them out, and I'll label them so that you'll know exactly where to go and what to get. So.
And you know what? Really quickly, since you mentioned music, it's not on our lists. It's not on our list. But if you want to use background music, or if you want to use just something in the background for noise, the site I use for my background music is Incompetech. All music's done by this guy, Kevin MacLeod. He's been doing it for a long time. A lot of big YouTubers use it. It's all free. All you gotta do is download the stuff and just give him a shout out in your description. That's all you gotta do. Real simple.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do the kind of the same thing, but with his videos, I just download them. But when it comes to like custom music, like sometimes I use a lot of the Pokemon background music, like Pokemon music, or like a random video game music, or some SpongeBob production music thrown in there. You know, I just download them with that tube catcher program. So it's up to you. It's really up to you of how you want to get started. If you want to go high, if you want to go like balls to the wall and production quality, that's up to you, man. Like for real. Any other comments on the subject of video editing and like?
I think we're good to move on to our next slide.
All right. Brainstorming phase. Brainstorming. I had to think. It's a. Oh,
What?
I'm out. Nope. Gotta think.
I'm leaving.
No.
I'm done.
Yep.
Brainstorm. You gotta use your brain here. So this is just your creativity. Use your imagination. Be creative. Have fun. Imagination. So
Remember when everyone had one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days.
Those were great. So this is the part when you're making a show where you ask yourself these questions. Well, okay, so first question is, what do you want to do for your show? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do TPI? Do you want to do Poke Survivor? Do you want to do Big Brother? You want to do The Amazing Race? You want to do Drag Race? What do you want to do? What?
Pokemon Drag Race. That'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see what someone does.
I mean, sure, go for it. Pokemon Next Top Pokemon. I've seen that. I haven't, not as a show, but I've seen it I've seen someone do it.
I think I remember Nikki and Misdreavus were, because I saw like this trailer on one of their channels for like maybe characters from their shows in like a Bad Girls Club style show.
Shoot, anything goes. It's the only limit is your imagination.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what I mean by in terms of what do you want to do for your show. What exactly are you trying to do? So next is come up with a theme of your show. Well, what makes your show special? What makes it that much better than everyone else, or that much more unique than everyone else? Those are the questions. Again, these are questions you gotta ask yourself. What makes my show unique?
Thing about this is that like this is where we kind of like divulge in like you don't have to do a TPI, a total Pokemon Island. Like you could like that doesn't have to be your first season. If you want it to be, I'd absolutely go for it. But like you could start with Total Pokemon Action, Total Pokemon Tour. In the wise words of our god Nicholas Nordstrom II, you could do Total Pokemon Muffin.
Oh yes,
if you wanted.
Can't forget about Total Pokemon Muffin.
What that would entail is beyond.
I'm very curious. I'd like to see someone do that.
The Muffin Shop, maybe.
Yeah. The Muffin
But yeah,
Man.
you don't have to start season 1, Total Pokemon, and then Total Pokemon World Tour. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's again, your limit is your imagination.
And again, it doesn't have to be different. I mean, Bayo had Total Pokemon Game On. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, those are the days, I will say.
I mean, it was a different premise, absolutely. Something different.
Oh man. But yeah, like just kind of go crazy. It's up to you. So then, what's the next question? Next question. What? Think of some character ideas. What are the characters? Well, what kind of characters do you want to have on your show? Do you want to have serious characters with really human traits, or do you want to have wacky, zany, fucking
off the wall?
Yeah, off the ball characters. Do you want them to all be horrible? You want them to be like an Always Sunny sort of thing, where nobody has redeeming qualities, but you enjoy them anyway. That's the whole point of Always Sunny. These people are horrible, but they're so fun to watch.
Or do you want all of those?
Or do you want to be in the whole cast to be nice girl Eevees?
Oh. No.
Man. Just imagine that show.
Pass.
I think that's the stuff of
Hard.
Bale's nightmares.
Yeah, I'd vomit. I would vomit. I mean, again, that's up to you. Think of what your strengths. And this is something I'm gonna hammer in a lot. Play to your strengths. Don't play to your weaknesses. Don't force yourself to do this, or this, just because that's what the optimal way to make a TPI is. If you suck at writing romance, don't do romance. But I will get more onto that later.
Right.
If you suck at making funny, wacky characters, go for a more serious tone. That's on you. So yeah, any other advice for character ideas? Coming up with characters.
I was going to say something, but that's not until the next one.
Okay.
But, yeah, we're good. Keep going.
All right. So next tip: think of some challenges. Think. I mean, you don't even have to do challenges. You can just sit around and make a comedy show. I don't know. That's up to you. But think of some But if you're assuming you're doing a basic TPI, this is just completely assuming that.
Like, challenges are kind of a necessity for something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't all just be sitting around waiting every week to vote somebody off. This isn't
Twiddling their thumbs every day.
This isn't the original season 1 of Big Brother.
Oh no.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
Like, if you've never seen season 1 of Big Brother, I'm just going to tell you this right now. Do not watch it. It is the most boring shit ever.
It's rubbish.
It's not good. It's amazing the show got a second season.
Oh yeah. It was really bad.
When it comes to challenges, we'll go into challenges a little more later, but just try to think of challenges to make the show interesting and to grip us to what's going on.
Or just kind of make it to where use the challenge as a catalyst to kind of put your characters in some wacky situations, or make it to where it pairs some contestants up. I don't know, just go crazy with that sort of thing. Any other thoughts on challenges?
I think we're good. Let's go to think of a boot order.
A boot order. So just kind of keep in mind what character. This isn't. You don't have to have like a specific boot order.
Oh,
It never can
that's a good
change.
idea. I was thinking of going to the closet, finding all of your rain boots, and
Oh yeah,
letting them
that's
grow
also
so they look
important. Don't.
nice.
And my
That's also
Timberlands are right here. My Wolverines are right here.
Give me the Timbs right
everything
now.
was about.
Give me the Timbs. Give me the Timbs right now. Not the Timbs. Oh man.
In all seriousness,
You don't have to follow a very strict boot order, but try to kind of have a general idea of what characters are not going to go far and which characters are going to go far. Because your boot list is going to change. I'm going to guarantee you that. It will not change much. Or it will change some, at least. At the very least. Like maybe a character gets eliminated instead of 5 instead of 4, and 2 people switch, or maybe someone who was originally supposed to go super far can get eliminated within the first 5 episodes.
Something that you can do for this, I saw this video. It was like an anime, like what would happen if every single Pokemon was put in a battle royal, and like which Pokemon would win. So every single Pokemon, not legendaries and mythicals, are in a one battle royale. Like which Pokemon's gonna win? But there's like still
like everyone for themselves, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But there's still like 800 plus Pokemon. So the person that made that, he said that when he was coming up with who was gonna win, he really started from excuse me. He really started from like the end. Like who do I know is gonna be at the end? Who do I know is gonna make it very far? And then kind of worked his way backwards to like who's gonna be the first one out. So you do something like that. You could come up with like a final 5 and then kind of work your way backwards.
Again,
And then even then, that could.
Like that's kind of what I did when I was figuring out the elimination order for my show. Like I'd look at certain check marks or points in the show. It's like, let's see, who do I want to make it past the first 10 episodes? And then I look through the cast. It's like Electrike, yeah, I want him to stick around.
He better.
Fletchling, yeah, absolutely. Mindfu, no, I don't need her. Or in some cases it was like Corfish. I'll send him home but bring him back. So technically yes, but not really. Like stuff like that, basically.
all right, and I kind of do it the opposite. I'm like, okay, who do I want to go out first? Who are the ones that are not going to make it past episode 5? And I already had the list. That has not changed. However, because once you do figure out when who your first 5 boots are, that's who. Then you have to realize you have to put more focus. It's like, okay, what direction do I go from here? So then you see who you have left.
Once the boots are out of the way, then it gets difficult.
Yeah.
Then the characters have personalities. You get to know them. Then it becomes a little more difficult.
And you could one thing additionally that you could do. This is kind of the way I'm looking at my show. Is that my show is pretty much going to be in like different arcs, and like we just finished the first like arc of the show, which is, I guess you could call it the Roselia arc.
I was gonna say the Roselia Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the 3-week-old episode, Roselia has been eliminated, and so
What?
now
That's so sad.
we're entering this new time in the show where it's like, oh, what do we do now that she's gone? And so that's going to be the start of a new arc.
Yeah, and then more stories will come up.
Go in that way, like, all right, I'm gonna have this be the primary, not the primary focus, but this is gonna be like the big overarching story of these episodes. So
Right. But yeah, that's also something that kind of go a good way, like he said, break it up into sections. Kind of maybe one character being eliminated is your kind of like, you can eliminate a big character and then just that starts a new story arc. That you can do that. That's a really good idea. Because it's
Right.
a good way to eliminate big characters without like being too aggressive about it, I guess.
yeah,
Kind of make it a signification that it's gonna, okay, this is the beginning of a new story. the end of the first chapter's over. Episode 6, excuse me, is actually going to be the end of one of those sections for me.
Ooh.
Because I'm not saying a big character. Okay. Kind of a big character.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to say who. Well, actually, technically, fourth episode's elimination was also the end of a section. You could also see as an end of a section. Just kind of, because, the fourth boot, Bellsprout, was kind of a big character the first few episodes. Not really a huge character, but yeah, I kind of put them on, the sixth episode is kind of in the same boat as Bellsprout. So, just kind of strap yourselves in for that one.
Yeah.
I'll say something else. For me, episode 20. I keep telling these guys about episode 20.
It's the big one.
It's the big 2-0, but it's a big one.
What episode you just released? 18?
I released 18. I'm hoping to get 19 out soon, but
Okay.
I keep telling myself I want to get it out soon, and that never happened. But
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
Now, summer's here. We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just kind of our 2 cents on boot orders and how to kind of section them off and how to make it effective and how to pace yourself. Pace yourself. That's the best thing to do. Don't get rid of a bunch of try hard or like big characters too fast, but at the same time save the kind of well, I wouldn't say fodder, the minor characters. You can keep some of them around. You don't have to keep all of them around, but you can keep some of them around. Just to
And that
kind
might
of
also give you a chance to make them not my characters.
yeah.
Right?
So next thing is to try to find your writing style and focus on your strengths. I said this before and I'll say it again. Focus on your strengths. Play to your strengths. A quote from I think it was a Harry Potter book. I don't know. Play to your strengths. What are you good at? It made me think of that scene with Mad Eye Moody. Yeah, where he's basically telling Harry, hey, well, play to your strengths, man. You gotta.
Oh, I was totally blanking for a second of who that was, and I'm like, I've heard that before, but now I remember.
Yeah.
I know.
I was a fan of Harry Potter when I was a kid. Now it's like,
Me too.
not really care. It's whatever.
I still like it. Anyway, yeah, find your writing style and focus to whatever your strengths are. I think we already covered it
Yeah.
pretty well.
If you suck at writing romance, if you think you suck at least, if you hate it, you don't want to do it, don't do it. You don't have to. I hate writing romance myself. There's very little of it in my show. I focus on what I'm good at, which is comedy. I'm only good at making funny jokes. Or at least
That's
in my
kind of what
opinion.
I was trying to do at the start. I was focusing a lot on the comedy, but as I've gone on and the characters have grown and you've gotten to know them and I've delved deeper, I'm like, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
At this deep, depressing stuff.
And
This
again-
shit where the characters' lives back home are just god awful. Just
Yeah, and
And-
it's something. It could be something. That's all. That's a really good point. I really like that. I really like that you brought that up because you can evolve over time. I guess, for lack of a better term, you can kind of grow as a writer, and like you can learn from your mistakes, and you learn what works and what doesn't work, and you kind of figure it out, and you get to know these characters, and you can kind of come up with these things. So that's a really good point. I really like that you brought that up.
Yeah, like my show it has been kind of more on the comedy side, but things start getting serious.
I mean,
they're getting
how serious can it be?
nice.
It's a show about Pokemon sprites with some random dude talking over it. Like, come on. I mean, how serious can you get, really?
Oh, pretty serious. Just you wait.
Yeah. I mean, just if you think about it from like an outsider perspective, it's like, what the hell? He's talking over Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like,
like nothing. Like okay, look at this show abandoned. Nothing serious is gonna happen. Wait, what about a conversion camp?
Wait, what was that?
yeah. So you don't have to start. You don't have to be like super serious from the start. You can kind of have a light tone in the beginning. Whatever works for
Yeah.
you.
Not every character has to show up and be like, well, both my parents died when I was 2 years old. Nice to meet you. I'm Evie.
I think we did talk. We talked about
I
this.
think Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say that we kind of talked about that in our cliches episode. Not every
Yeah.
character has to have an edgy backstory.
I was gonna say it kind of ties into what our next point on this is: storylines for characters. Make the show interesting.
If you don't have a story, you don't have a show.
You're absolutely right, Matt. You gotta, like, you can't just have every character just like sitting in the corner eating saltines for 28 episodes and then they just walk out for their elimination. That was a reference to, sort of a reference to a comedian. But,
I don't know. I'm blanking.
it was John
sounded
Mulaney.
familiar.
But anyway, the point
Oh
is,
yeah.
yeah, you know what it is. You just got to make sure you keep the show interesting, you keep us entertained, and you make it a show that people want to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta
like,
keep me invested.
when it comes to shows and movies, the story is important. Now, again, when it comes to something like video games and porn, the story is not important there. But
I mean, with video games, you just care about the flashing lights and blowing stuff up, and with porn,
Well, you know.
yeah, we don't need to go into that. But you get what we're trying to say.
yeah, here story is kind of important. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say kind of. I'd say it's very important.
Absolutely,
And
it's one of the most important things.
If you're gonna have a big storyline end, not immediately, but like if like the end of your episode is like a storyline ending, like with an elimination per se, then the next episode, another storyline should start.
Yes.
There shouldn't be just like this dead zone in your show where like nothing's happening.
When one door closes, another one opens. You know the old saying.
Then there's
Precisely.
shoot. I had something to say, but I forgot all about it. Damn it.
And then we have one more thing on here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in really small text. It's kind of hard to make out, but it says to plan ahead.
Plan
Please,
ahead,
God.
for the love
Please.
of God, please.
For the love of Arceus, plan ahead.
Oh,
Don't just
no.
make it up as you go. That's
Awful.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
Because then you're gonna contradict. You're setting yourself up to contradict yourself more. Because if you don't plan ahead, you can't stay. You'll become inconsistent. It's like, okay, this
You'll
episode,
have no continuity.
Right. This character likes oranges, but then they turn out to hate oranges 3 episodes later. If it,
But wait a minute, I thought he was allergic to orange.
what,
Like you're like most likely your fans are not idiots, so they're gonna notice certain things. They're gonna notice when something isn't quite right.
right.
Like if one character is like a total jerk in one episode, and then 2 episodes later they're the nicest person on in the game.
Show that
Like-
growth.
Exactly. Like unless it's some sort of split personality, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or it's some sort of twin situation. Like no, that's never. Like you
No.
can't just add that in with no context.
Or if you do, by accident, make a mistake like that, then just write yourself out of the hole.
Right.
It's possible. If you make a mistake, you can fix it by writing.
Exactly. You can fix anything. It's better than flex tape. Come on.
Oh, the power of flex tape.
Exactly.
I wrote this show in half.
I wrote the show in half. Watch me put it back together.
Oh. Okay, I think we're good to move on.
That's all we gotta say about brainstorming. It was a big section, I know, but we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Some nitty gritty
Now
stuff.
we're getting to the meat of this sandwich.
The meat
Now
and potato.
we're gonna talk about your
Casting.
cat.
Pokemon choice does not matter. That's the first thing I will say. Does not matter. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have basic Pokemon. You can have any Pokemon you want. If you want, but your Pokemon choice doesn't matter. Unless you want it to matter. That is up to you. But don't
Like,
think.
it can be a special theme with your show. Like if you like, I think we're gonna talk about theme in a second, but like if you wanted a show with all fire types, like Total Pokemon Volcano Island, there you go. Like that could work. Or if you wanted all legendaries, like Telly did that many years ago with Legends Hotel, was it?
Something like that. I can't remember quite.
Whatever you want. Like we were saying earlier, it's all up to your imagination of what you feel is right.
Right, exactly. I mean, but if you're just doing, we're assuming that you're just doing a basic TPI. Your Pokemon choice doesn't matter. You don't have to do all starters, and then like just the
In
popular
fact,
Pokemon.
please don't do all starters.
I mean, if you really want to, if that's the theme, whatever, go for it.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing an all-starter TPI. I think that could be done well.
But
If it's done well,
yes,
like we say every single episode, if it's done well, go for it.
but
If you're able to make it interesting.
You could pull it off, then by God, pull it off.
absolutely, and it'll tie into something else that we're gonna talk about soon. So, yeah, Pokemon choice, up to you 100%. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to have specific Pokemon for a specific role. That's typecasting,
Right.
Yeah.
We are progressive here. We like to break those stereotypes.
See that stereotype? I saw this stereotype in half.
I saw it in half.
Okay, the next one, it's like for your cast size.
Yeah.
Try to be reasonable with it, especially
Don't go
if it's
crazy.
your first season.
Oh yeah. Not many
Pick
people
a
can pull
number
off
that
60.
you are going to be comfortable with.
Like you see our ballpark right there, about 16 to 32. Like I've got 32, and even that's kind of pushing it. But if you want to do a little more than that, if you can pull it off, fine. But we don't recommend you going anywhere over 40.
Please don't.
God, that'd be awful.
That's just way too many people to keep track of.
You're not gonna finish it. If that's
You're gonna
the
have
case.
Absolutely.
500 characters in the background. Characters.
Every episode. It's hard to write that. We don't even, not even what you see as the pros are able to pull off. Michael barely pulled it off. Michael had a lot of the characters that did nothing. Like half the cast did nothing every episode in the beginning. So it's not recommended. Michael
That's especially
pulled it
hard,
off,
like at
but
the
he
beginning
barely
of
pulled it
season
off.
2, once everyone's like still trying to get their footing and like be like, "Hi, this is who I am."
And then like episode 10, oh hey, I'm here. Oh, who are
Wait,
you?
You exist?
What?
Wait, this.
I don't remember you on the boat.
Gets eliminated the same episode.
That's
Okay.
That was kind of the point I was trying to make with Metatites. Like
Mr.
if you're
Tortuga, where'd you come
suddenly back in the spotlight, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, pretty much. We talked about that at one point, I think, in one of our
Yeah.
cliches episodes.
Right.
Yeah,
from? Also, keep in mind that like pretty much the size of the cast that you pick is going to be like within 2 or 3 of. All right, let me start. The size of your cast is going to be very close to the number of episodes. So keep that in mind. Like if you start with 16, you're probably going to have somewhere around like 15 to 16 episodes, which is fine for a first season, absolutely. But if you have like 32, like I started with 32, then 3, and I have 36 episodes that are rough projected. So
I had,
I've got
do,
I had 20
do
with
what-
14
do what
episodes.
you're gonna be able to like.
Yeah.
yeah, what were you saying? You had how many episodes planned?
I had
or-
14 episodes for my second season, and I had 20 contestants. So that's also a possibility.
Okay, and then I have 32 contestants, and I have 33 episodes because people came back. So I have 15 left to do, which
My first season is
I'm
probably
barely
20,
over the hump.
23 episodes, I think. I'm pretty sure. 23, something like that. I'm not, again, I haven't really gotten that far. I'm still very early in my series, so bear with me.
But basically, like we said, the number of your cast is a good indicator of how long your series is going to go, or the
Exactly.
first season is at least.
So just kind of keep that in mind. Know your limits.
Right.
Don't go crazy just because everyone else does 60. Just that doesn't mean Michael does 60. Doesn't mean you should do 60.
Right.
or doesn't mean this person, or Billy Bob, or it doesn't matter.
And if you're gonna do 60, don't try to cram it into 15 episodes by having like 4 people go home every single episode.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't send more than 2 or 3 people home per episode. Or like,
Yeah.
I eliminated 3 people in one episode, but that was the finale, and there was 5 people left in the finale. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do this. I had 2 double boot and triple boot.
I never watched Miss Drevis's show, but I think I remember hearing something about like in the middle of World Tour, how they like got rid of like 20 people or like 30 people within a 5-episode time span, and I'm like, what?
That's insane.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
I'm not making this up. Like, I saw it on the wiki. Like go to the wiki, you'll see it.
Good lord, I couldn't do it.
The next topic, I mean, we kind of went over this a little bit, but vary the types and generations of Pokemon unless it ties into a theme.
Yes, don't have all fire types unless that's your theme of having all fire types. Again, that's up to you. Try to kind of diversify it a little bit. You know, like we said,
Variety.
we're progressive. Come on.
Like, add some steel types, add some dark types, add some water types and bug types. Make sure they're Pokemon from all the generations that you want, even though my cast I don't think has any Gen 7 Pokemon.
Mine doesn't have anything past Gen 4, but I did that on purpose.
Well, yeah, that's
Well,
that's
that ties
kinda,
into your theme.
exactly. And for me, I just I just made the cast before Gen 7 was released.
Yeah.
I was a little late on that.
Yeah, so it's that's out of your control though.
Right.
So yeah, definitely something to keep your mind. Kind of go crazy, vary it, make your cast kind of pop out, like to the point where it's easy to distinguish them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because if your audience can visually distinguish one from another, it'll make it easier for them in the long run to figure out who's who. It's like, oh yeah, that's the Durant, that's the Joltik, oh that's the
Oh, that's cool.
that's Quillfish. I was just thinking of Pokemon off the top of my head.
Bergmite? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, we all know what he's about.
Actually, wait, hold on, because I originally announced this when we recorded it the first time, but since we lost the footage, I'll make the official announcement right now. You guys already know this, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but, well, a lot of you guys in the chats have been joking and begging for Bergmite to have his own show about conspiracies, and I'm pleased to say that I am going to make that show once I reach 300 subscribers. Yeah, I need something in return.
Subscribe to 23919 instead of
before you get the goods, but I hit 300, it's happening.
Instead of subscribe to PewDiePie, it's subscribe to 323919
Subscribe to your boy 2319 Anyway, let's continue on with the cast.
Oh wait,
The podcast.
Oh, I will say about the
Podcast.
Bergmite. You have to do. Yeah, there's one quote. There's one thing I want you to say. All right. You have to make
Me?
Bergmite say. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm kind of retarded. It's an Alex Jones quote.
Alex Jones.
I'm gonna be honest here.
I think that could be done.
I'm kind of retarded. Oh man. Anyways, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Tiny little tangent aside. We're on make every character unique, right?
Yes. Make every character unique when it comes to your voice, their personality type, everything. Make it unique. Everyone stand out from each other. Unless there is some sort of plotline where 2 characters are similar, like twins, which, please God, don't do that. But,
Don't. That's...
Guilty.
No twins.
Our nightmares still are haunted with Peachy.
No.
You can kind of have... Oh, no, we don't speak of that.
And another tiny thing, I forget if I mentioned this to you, but there's on the wiki, I don't know who put in this elimination order for the rest of TPA. I don't know if it's legit or not.
Oh, I've
but
seen that. Yeah.
What?
I've seen that.
I've seen that too.
They're saying that Peachy would have made it to the final 4.
Oh, hell no.
Which,
No.
I'm sorry. No.
Series canceled.
Absolutely.
Canceled. Right there. I'm glad it's canceled. If that's the shit show it would have turned into.
Nobody wants that. And, I'm sorry, another tiny tangent, but make every character stand out, give them a different voice, give them a different personality. Don't just make 20 nice girl Eevees. Like like nobody wants that, especially Bayo. I mean, you saw what he did to a nice girl Eevee. He took it right behind the shed immediately and shot it between the eyes.
Yeah, it was like Of Mice and Men.
Between the eyes. Oh my god, he made her watch.
Hell yeah! I didn't even give
say guillotine her.
Oh, that's not bad either. But
I don't know.
make every character unique.
Have fun with it. You can have a character that's similar to someone else's show. If you want to do something different with it, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I get it. It's a rough playing field sometimes when it comes to coming up with new ideas. But do your best and kind of just go crazy.
I think when it comes to making everyone unique, the voice is kind of like the least of at least my concerns, because like some people can't do multiple, and that's fine. But like there should at least be like some small bit of like differentiation between characters. Like it shouldn't be like, hello, Squirtle. Hello, I'm Charmander. Hello, I'm Bulbasaur.
You don't have to do different voices. You can do different dialects.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Like you can have a southern accent. You can do deep southern. You can do New Jersey. You know, something like that.
Oh my God,
crikey.
Jersey.
Crikey, you could do Australian, mate. Whatever the hell you want. Doesn't matter.
Those are some accents, Bayo. I'll be
The
honest.
character show up in a cowboy hat, and the first thing he says is he's going to take his horse to the old town road.
No!
Whatever you want.
No.
I had a
you're lucky
redneck
Google's
character.
not saying that.
Get out.
I had a couple redneck characters. Because they're easy. Because I could do a redneck voice easy.
Horses will be taken to the old town road today.
Right till I
take my
can't
mud
no
break.
more.
Not like that song.
You don't
In
like
case
that song?
I was unaware.
I don't mind it.
Anyway, along with the characters, you also got to think about what about the host and the co-host.
Now, the host is the bread and butter of the show. They're the character you see every episode, and you know you're going to see every episode no matter what. They're the characters that are there the whole time.
And if they're going to be here every episode, then you got to get used to them, and you got to make them someone that you want to see every episode.
And don't make them this typical, they're just awful. You can.
Not every host has to be an asshole.
Right.
Mine's just a reckless douche.
Mine's just a self-righteous, egotistical... I mean, he is kind of a jerk, but... I mean, he is kind of showing a little bit more of a softer side, I think, as the show goes on, I'll be honest. But for the most part, he is just an egotistical douchebag, because that's just the role I love to play the most.
I think Slowking's the most tame, to be honest.
I completely agree with you.
Except, like, the small, like, snaps where he just, like, goes crazy.
If you mention the E, he starts going crazy. But for the most part, I think Slowking's pretty alright.
Yeah, I like Slowking. I like Bisharp. Jolteon is like best way to describe Jolteon is Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis
from Always Sunny.
Oh,
He's
right.
full of himself.
I've only seen a few episodes of It's Always Sunny, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I actually didn't even know it, and I was like, wow, Dennis is a lot like Jolteon, what the hell? Because I started watching Always Sunny much later than that. Okay. So, yeah. Co-host, in terms of co-host, you don't even have to have one if you really don't want one. But it's just kind of to add to a chemistry between the main host. So just kind of do that at your own discretion. That's up to you.
And if you're going to have a chef...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you're going to have a chef, he doesn't have to sound like a big, gruff, black guy.
Even though I think Hariyama kind of does.
Bronzong does too. That's okay. But like, I kind of started my show back in like, I guess more towards the era of when that was like every single chef. So that was like the only thing I knew how to do. So I just did it. But you don't have to do that.
Right.
You don't have to literally be Chef Hatchet.
Yeah. I mean, you can go crazy when, like I said, you can kind of come up with your own idea. Which, if you want to do Chris and Chef dynamic, that's up to you.
Right.
Just make it interesting. Do something different, you know?
And it doesn't just have to be the host and the co-host. Like, the next one is possible side characters.
Interns.
Like, expand this team. Like, it can't just be 2 people working on the show. That's why I try to implement other people. Like, you see Durant and Heatmore working as interns.
You got the production crew.
On the cameraman.
Just the entire production crew. You can kind of just go, you know, make them their own characters. Kind of have their own personalities inside, you know, sort of side plots or whatever.
One thing that, in terms of side characters, that you really should try to do is your show should kind of feel like it actually exists, quote unquote, real world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it should feel like
It's a reality show.
it should feel like it's in like the same universe as like the Pokemon world, I guess. Like, it's not
The mystery
just like,
dungeon games, like kind of how that works.
it's not just like a fucking simulation that like isn't in the real world. It doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
Like, I think mine is in, like, this weird gray area of, like, both the Pokemon world and the real world exist. Like, there's the possibility that you could fly from Jubilife's Los Angeles, I guess you could say.
I mean, technically, you know, the Pokemon regions are based on actual regions of Japan.
True. That's exactly right.
Except I think the later gens were based off other countries.
Yeah,
Right,
like Gen 5 is New York.
No, Gen 5 was France. No, oh wait, no. Gen 6 is Paris.
6 is France.
6 is France. 7 is... 5 is... 7 is Hawaii.
5 is New York, yeah.
5 is
Yeah,
New
5 is New York.
Yeah.
And I think the first 4 were all parts of Japan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And 8 is England.
England? Is that what you said?
That's the big spec.
Oh.
I mean, with how
Short
many
and steel.
people are saying that the female trainer is Scottish, even though she's...
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible because, you know, swords and shields, that's kind of the staple of the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense. I wonder... never mind. Other things about side characters that you can do. Again, side characters be anything. It could be the host's pet goldfish. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Pet Magikarp. He has a pet Magikarp. He has. You go crazy. I mean, it's like you can even.
I'm imagining that right now. Like, Hariyama, can you go feed Skippy real quick? Hariyama's like, yeah, we got a problem. Skippy's I think he's outgrown his bowl.
The big ass Gyarados.
Evolved.
It's just a freaking. It's a Gyarados in a fishbowl.
Exactly.
When his tail is just.
Havoc. And Bishop's like, hey, contestants, you want to know what your next challenge is?
Yeah, you could just. I mean, it could tie into that.
Great. Now I think I'm actually gonna have to add Skippy the Magikarp to the show.
Just do it. Make sure he's there after all the electric types are gone. If they are gone before a certain point.
Alright. I'm trying to think. I think the only electric type I have is...
Electrike and Flaffy.
Oh, right. Yeah, Flaffy. I was only thinking of electric. Anyway, the next one we have... Try not to strictly follow archetypes.
Yes.
Like, if you have someone that's based off of Lindsay from Total Drama, maybe not make her 100% exactly like Lindsay, or... Just throwing it out there, maybe you don't have to have a Lindsay archetype on your show. Just
whoa,
that's blasphemy. I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
Bold.
But here's the thing. The key word is base your characters. That means start your characters off like that and go in a different direction. Don't copy them. Base them.
Yeah, your characters, bro, they can.
They are
become people.
They have the same basic character traits, but they grow in a different direction. They can. It's like you can make it to where maybe instead of the Lindsay archetype being dumb, they're psychologically traumatized, making it look like they're dumb. Or who knows? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just go in a different direction.
That's best. Go your own way with whatever contestant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just. And I just wanted to put on a Fleetwood Mac reference. I don't know why, but just came to mind. But like, don't make them like. We constantly say this. If you're gonna do it, make it interesting and make it unique.
Make it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Where people say that.
And don't just have them saying like, I think I've seen this somewhere before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's never fun.
And the last thing about casting, think of something fresh ideas. Something that you've never really seen before, but it's like, why not? Why hasn't this been a thing before? You know, I mean, that's just, it's always a possibility.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of a summary. Think of fresh ideas.
Pretty much.
Alright. Next slide.
Now we go to the challenges.
Challenge tips.
Challenge of the challenges.
This one's going to be a little shorter because, again, challenges are pretty much kind of, you're on your own there, and you got to come up with your own challenges.
The rest of this is going to go by pretty quickly. The last are pretty small.
Yeah. This is just a blueprint, just kind of some guidelines to kind of come up with your challenges and like what to do and what not to do. First of all, make them creative. That kind of use your brain there.
Like,
you all got
brain
one.
And use it. So
Come
just
on.
try to make them all stand out. Make them all interesting.
Yeah, just kind of
Make them grab my attention.
it's like, oh, you had a challenge. I mean, they could be stupid and edgy. You could have a challenge where you rob a bank. I did that. I was like, you know what? I want to make it to where the contestants rob a bank. That'd be fun. Just I did that in my very first season. It was the third episode. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna base it off GTA. I'm gonna rob a bank because Jolteon needs more money in his budget. So he makes his contestants rob a bank. It would have been like a whole storyline where Jolteon gets arrested in the middle of the season. But yeah.
That would have been interesting.
It was going to be an episode where they were both him and Jolteon and one of the contestants, Munchlax, would get arrested because Munchlax was hiding like $100,000 worth of drugs under his under the trailer. And then Jolteon, obviously, for robbing a bank and amongst other things.
Amongst other illegal deeds.
Exactly. So yeah, enough about that. But yeah, like I said, just go make them creative. Go. You can push boundaries. You can push buttons. You can be offensive. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as it's interesting. It's like, oh, it grabs someone's attention, even if it's offensive, edgy, shocking, whatever. That was my whole cream of the crop.
As long as you're not doing what Nikki was doing and having every contestant just want to murder everyone, quite literally.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe don't do that.
Like, it's to the point where you really start to question the sanity of the cast that Raichu chose for his show.
I mean, maybe you can have an episode where one of the tasks is to waterboard somebody. I don't know. Torture somebody.
Give us the info.
I mean, go crazy with that kind of idea. Up to you. Like I said, I mean, know your limits. If you don't want to do that, I mean, I'm not saying you should do shocking, edgy humor just to the shocking aspect, but if that's what you want to do, go for it. I did that. I did all the shocking, edgy stuff in my first season. Challenges must be substantial. I forgot what y'all meant by that. I didn't write that one.
Oh, I think they must be a big part of the episode.
Yeah, the thing about
that totally contradicts the next line I just saw that we have on the PowerPoint where it says doesn't have to be the biggest part of the episode.
Well, yeah, but the thing about challenges, right, is that they don't have to be the biggest part of the episode, but more likely than not, it excuse me, more likely than not, it is going to be the biggest part of the episode, and that's where like the bulk of the episode is going to take place. It's like Deo said earlier, you can use the challenge as like a catalyst to put the contestants in a certain situation. Like that could be where a lot of like character moments.
It could be
Where
and you can use it to
like,
progress certain plots, and
it's not necessarily like the challenge itself is the biggest part of the episode. Like you could have like a camping, but it ends up like everybody ends up getting split off, and then you get a lot of individual like character moments. But challenge, but like it's kind of like the challenge isn't the biggest like kind of part of that. It's just like the I guess like the battleground for where the character moments are gonna.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you get down to it, all a challenge should do is determine what tribe is staying safe for the week, and what tribe is going to tribal council.
And a lot of the time, if you have a lot of good challenges in your season, that's what people are going to
remember
from the episode. Like,
that
was the episode with the
eggs.
With the I don't even remember what challenge it was.
Oh yeah, that's the episode with the eggs.
Oh, who said that? That was the one where they took care of Hariyama's kids.
Oh, that's the one where that's the one where they.
I'm so worried that challenge was going to be a dud.
I loved it.
So funny.
At 2 a.m, I loved it.
I thought it was so
hilarious.
hilarious.
Looking at him like, this is so stupid.
I like the ones with
Professor Z.
The Professor Z. Are we still talking about Professor Z?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, because I remembered I had a Porygon Z show early on, and I was thinking, wait a minute, maybe I could make Professor Z real, because I am gonna have Porygon Z make another appearance later in the show. Maybe throw in a reference. I don't know.
Yeah.
Make Professor Z real.
For it.
There's gonna be a petition. Make Professor Z real.
Please sign my petition.
Will you sign my petition?
To make Professor Z real? What's Professor Z? Blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, no. Anyway.
Actually starts the petition.
And then the last thing we have here, just have fun with your challenges. Like, if you're not having fun with the challenge, then you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
And if challenges aren't your strong suit, like me, I suck at making challenges. You can make them short and sweet, and make the meat of the episode around the conversations and the character interactions. So that's also a possibility. That's something I do personally, and I'm not saying you should, but that's what you have to do. That's shit to do.
Yeah, challenges are usually my least favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, I'm
They're
awful
the
at
part
them.
they script last.
Yeah, I mean, like, what was my last episode? Like, a fucking building a car? Like, how lame.
The car was funny, and I almost said Bidoof, but no. Buzzsprout blowing away the competition.
Blowing himself up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. But, just the basic idea, building a car. Like, the idea of that's kind of lame on paper.
But it was a catalyst for a lot of different things.
Yeah. It was a catalyst. That's what it was used as a catalyst.
Like, that's pretty much what my next challenge is going to be. No spoilers, obviously, but it's going to be pretty much a catalyst for a lot of character interaction.
Drama. Same with episode 5. No, I'm not going to lie.
And a lot of them are ones that, like, you wouldn't really see otherwise. I won't spoil. But, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's really all there is to talk about challenges. Next, last but not least, we're going to talk about themes.
Themes.
What do you want your show to be based around?
First things first. Be creative with your theme.
Please.
You don't even have to have a theme, really. You can have a basic Total Pokemon Island. That's actually what we're assuming you're making here when it comes to your ideas.
Yeah.
This is how to make a basic TPI. Doesn't have to be a Total Pokemon Island. It could be Total Pokemon based on whatever you want. Any source, and any source material. You can do Big Brother, Amazing Race, etc. Drag Race, America's Next Top Model.
Muffin,
Pokemon Muffin.
Yeah, pretty much anything. Total Pokemon Muffin.
And a couple things we have highlighted here. The team division can be part of it. Your theme. It's like, okay, you have heroes versus villains. That's a pretty basic one, where you have heroes versus villains. Survivors.
That's probably a better one to use later down the line, but yeah, heroes and villains can still work.
Yeah, not for your first season, but like if you did a third or fourth season, yeah, it's definitely possible. Fourth season, anyone? Hint, hint. So yeah, the team division, or you could just do it where it's fire versus water types, or it could be, I don't know, Kanto versus Johto, or just that's up to you.
or it could have to do with the number of people on each. Like, it doesn't have to. If you have, let's say, 20 contestants, it doesn't have to be 10 versus 10. It could be 5 teams of 4 if you want.
Yeah.
4 teams of 5.
4 teams of 5. I mean,
3 teams of 6 and 2/3 of a.
2/3 of a contestant. What?
We got to do some cutting for that one.
Yeah, we can find it a hacksaw.
Like, all right, you'll get Axew's head.
You'll get Axew's head. Jesus. They call me edgy.
You're gonna get Bibarel's legs.
Oh man. Oh man, the hacksaw, it was just being used today. They literally dividing the teams.
Excuse me, host, can I not get cut up with the hacksaw? I don't know, we'll have to see.
We'll see how you perform in this challenge. If you fail the challenge, you get cut in half. But then you got twists. Themes can include twists. I mean, twists can be anything. You can do anything for twists. You can have a tribe swap. That could be a twist. You can have the theme of your system can include a twist like maybe a twist is someone comes back in the game after a certain point. A lot of TPIs do this.
Or your entire concept for your. Almost like instead of doing action for season 2, you went back to the island. But
yeah.
Who would ever do?
I did.
I mean, that's blasphemy. I don't know.
It's a little crazy.
You have to be.
I did it for season 3.
Insane to do that.
Oh yeah. Going back in time. What if you actually went back in time and rewrote history, just for profit?
I mean,
let's not get
just do something similar. Like just give it a different name. Doesn't even have to be called Total Pokemon Island, even if it's literally a Total Pokemon Island. But I don't know, I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, that's spitballing. Yeah.
That sounds a little too crazy, if you ask.
I mean, that kind of also ties into setting location. You don't have to start on an island. You don't have to start. You can go out in the woods and have fun. You can go back in time. Go prehistoric time. You can go be on a film lot. You could be
in a muffin shop.
Yeah, you could be in a muffin factory.
That
reminds me of it all.
Going to make that
a thing. Let's do it.
Show.
Make it a thing.
That should be.
It used to be an in-joke when I was in middle school.
That should be like one of the promo for like coming up next. 3 Pokemon stuck in a muffin factory.
That's gonna be one of my end cards.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh god, that's brilliant. I'm gonna do that.
What will happen in the next episode?
That was an old
Pokemon muffin.
That was an in-joke in my
not Pokemon muffin, but
middle school. I used to I used to be like, yeah, I need to go. Does anyone else need to leave for a certain thing? Yeah, I gotta go to the muffin factory. I would tell the teacher, I was like, yeah, me and my friends would be like, yeah, I want to go to I need to go to the muffin factory. I gotta go in at about 3:30, so I need to leave now. But yeah, setting location. All of these things are part of your theme. Just kind of, it's what makes your show stand out from the rest.
Right.
So yeah, that's really all there is to talk about making a TPI. I hope this video has been informative for you guys, and just it's been a fun experience. Like making a TPI isn't fun. It is fun in games, but it is not fun in games. Maybe one day we'll get into the logistics of making an actual episode, do a simple episode. Who knows?
Mechanics of it.
Yeah, what we each do, or that could be something we do on our own time, or we just settle on one way to do a show or do an episode, or just a way. Maybe we'll do that sometime. But today, this is just to get you started. This is just your starter pack. Again, links will be in the description for everything we've talked about here.
Links.
Yep, we'll even post this PowerPoint in the description. So if you want to
Let's
look
just hope this episode actually stays put and
Yeah.
does not get corrupted.
It's good.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
All right, we're good.
Yes.
So
we're
yeah.
good.
I mean, that's pretty much it for another episode of Campfire Society. It's been a fantastic episode, and I guess we'll see y'all later. See y'all next episode.
See ya.
See y'all next episode.